Oh, well, there you go.
Well, there you go. Okay.
Fuck FanDuel. Fuck betting.
What happened?
I
I thought
was
you were winning.
I was up like $170 earlier this week,
Yeah.
and I don't know, today it just wasn't going well, and then I started really acting impulsively and just making these bets, betting
Uh-oh.
betting like the third inning on three different games that no teams would score. I was like, no one's going to score, and I'm going to win $115 right now, and I'm going to make up all the money that I lost. And then some fucking idiot from like the Detroit Lions would come up and hit a home run. It's like, who the fuck are you? Whenever I need you to get hits, you don't. You're a piece of garbage that gets paid millions of dollars a year. And then when there's somebody who's got $100 on the line because it means something to them, while you roll around in your fucking millions, you're gonna come up and hit a home run.
Oh, God. Should not bet.
I think of the people
You
listening.
should not be gambling.
I think of the people listening to this who do actually gamble and put like $100 down as one bet, and maybe $1,000 down as one bet. Here I am dabbling in $5 and $10 bets, and I make one $20 bet when I get desperate.
Yeah. And you go crazy on the people playing when they have no idea what you're doing. It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, well, that's a sign of being neurotic. It's a form of neurosis.
Yeah, so neurotic.
It's like if a train is late.
So much.
If a train is late, I get really angry. This is a whole archetype that's been diagnosed and dissected.
Yeah.
It's like that train's going to affect a lot of people, and there could be many reasons it was late. It's like, fuck you, I don't give a shit. I had a place to be. So this player, this Detroit Tiger, what is he? I bet he's sleeping well tonight. Going into the All-Star break, clearly not on the team because he's not good enough. So he's got a nice 3-day break. It's going to be sleeping in his 10,000 count sheets while I struggle to get by. That $100, $108.72. That would have only
struggle to get by.
It would have only gotten me back to where I was.
Yeah.
But it's gone into the wind, just like that idiot's home run. Ooh, look at me trotting around the back. I did good. Pat me on the back. I get $100,000 per at bat, even when I strike out. I hit a home run. You should tell me I'm good. Come on, rest of the players. Pat my butt.
Welcome to One Topic, where we stick to one topic. My name is Autumn Fischer.
My name is Greg Russ. Your name cut out for a second, so you should say it again in case.
Okay, ready? My name is Autumn Fischer.
It happened again.
My name is Autumn Fischer.
Okay, there you go. There's a name in the clear. So if somebody's listening for the first time, they'll know who you are. And then they'll stick around. They'll say, if I didn't know who that
I feel known.
If I didn't know who that host was, I wouldn't have stuck around. I would have gone to listen to the Gossip podcast that was so popular, where somebody takes a piece of gossip and then they talk about it and they have that person on. That's all I know. I know there was a podcast that was the premises, and
the premise.
Oh, what did I say?
You said the premises.
What is that? The premises is is like grounds.
It's like a location.
Yeah, that was the premise. Whatever. I've been staring at fucking baseball. I'm not going to talk about this for anyone. Worried. I already ranted in the pre-show. I'm not going to continue on. But I really, over the past week since we did the last episode, have been staring at fucking baseball numbers. It is not good for me. If this was something I did
No.
constantly, my relationship would not last. I don't know what my life would become. But it's like I was obsessing over it. I play, not only placed the bets, I got MLB TV, and I was flipping through the games, watching at bats for games like San Francisco, Colorado. It's like, who the fuck cares? It's like, I need this person on this team to have a hit. So I would follow the box scores and see when that person was coming up to bat, and I'd click to the game. Fuck me. Jesus Christ. And then today, after I was done watching, I've just been drifting off to sleep. I just feel exhausted. So, premises. That was the premise of the show. It became a very popular show, so I hear. And then the next season, people hated it because I think it went to the hosts' heads. And then they started doing more stuff just about themselves and got away from the point of the show, which, I can't shit on too much because what the hell is this show if not just talking about ourselves?
This show has been that. Absolutely.
But I think they became self-important, like, oh, people love us.
Right.
We're absolutely amazing.
Okay.
And that doesn't exist here. That's been established many times over the course of the few years. I don't think that anyone loves me.
Oh, I disagree. I know people love me. And I don't mean that in a conceited way, but I don't feel like people don't love me.
Anytime I see that people...
like, I'm a piece of shit, know?
Anytime I see that people listen to the show, I'm like, what the fuck? What are you doing listening to this? But then I also simultaneously get mad that more people aren't listening.
Yeah, it's really hard. It must be so hard to be so neurotic. You can't enjoy it.
Who claimed
I
that
feel like it makes life hard to enjoy.
You're just figuring this out.
A little.
This is just coming to light.
No, I'm just putting it to words and to you. When
have I exuded enjoyment? When has it's like, yes.
Well, because you're also you're so romantic about a lot of things, and you hold sentimental things to such a high value. It's like you do have like this deep richness to you, but then just the day-to-day living stuff seems so difficult.
Yeah, maybe because none of that stuff can exist, and it has to be created in fantasy.
What stuff can't exist?
The sweetness, the sweetness that I put on a pedestal that I fantasize about can't exist in this spiral of an existence. Anyway, fuck that. Who cares?
Okay.
What were we supposed to be talking about?
We didn't know. We didn't really have a topic. I talked about seeing 2 movies. I saw 2 kids movies. I don't go see movies anymore, hardly at all. And I went to see 2 children's movies recently.
Which is a shame because there are so many great movies.
Are there?
Yeah, there's
really
so many coming out. Like
oh yeah,
Barbie.
I heard that's kind of funny.
It's Elf.
I bet you it's fun.
I feel like Barbie's Elf because I saw a trailer.
I loved Elf.
I saw a trailer, and Will Ferrell's involved somehow. I saw a trailer that the early trailers of Barbie were just set in that weird fantasy Barbie land where everything aesthetically was pink and cartoonish. And then a newer trailer revealed some plot points and showed that Barbie was in the real world, and the big bad toy makers, I don't know, they wanted to catch Barbie for some reason. The point is, it felt very Elf. So that's coming out. You've got Mission Impossible, where Tom Cruise does all his own stunts. He can't stand the fact that he's aging, so he pushes himself more and more and does crazier and crazier stunts himself. Like apparently with this movie, I saw the first Mission Impossible.
Mm-hmm.
You ever see any of them?
I think I've seen one. Oh, yeah, one. Is there a Mission Impossible where there's like they're in like an automated like car garage?
I wouldn't know because I've only seen one, the first one.
Okay,
I don't even
think I've seen. I think that's one. And maybe that might be a James Bond.
The first one came out, I think, was it the summer before I went to high school? That's how long the series has been going on. And I guess people like it. And I can appreciate the stunts, similar to Top Gun and how most of that was shot practically. And
1996.
yeah,
To
96.
present. Yeah.
So I read that with this Mission Impossible, the big stunt where he rides this motorcycle off of a cliff and then parachutes. And that's the first thing they shot. Because
Oh, wow, really?
it was Tom Cruise's idea. If he got hurt or died, he'd say, at least we knew there was no movie at that point, and we wouldn't have spent a bunch of money shooting other stuff. So we may as well do that first.
I mean, he's nothing if not, practical.
It's a shame that he's got that weird Scientology connection. Because
Well, all of this, like all of that sort of intensity and this as much as I think that he's saved Hollywood in a lot of ways, by making movies with actual stunts. I think that's really interesting, and I like that. I think that's a good thing. But don't you think some of all of this like thrill seeking and needing to go up to the higher level is like that's a alcoholism thing. Not alcohol, but like some sort of addiction something that he's focusing like a laser all of those maybe feelings that he would put toward an addiction into something that's, not harmful, but maybe could kill him still.
he takes making movies very seriously. There was that whole rant that came out when they went back to filming after
During
COVID.
COVID.
During COVID, yeah, it was an after. Because COVID's around forever. Deal with it.
Right, whatever.
So during COVID, and he wasn't wrong because people were,
No.
whether or not you bought into having to wear masks or not, it was mandated. And they could have shut down a whole fucking production. And he sees people not wearing masks and knows that there's a lot of jobs at stake, the movie's at stake. So he's not out of line when it comes to that. And I think that he's one of the last remaining movie stars. You can argue his star power. I think after the latest Top Gun, he brightened. If he was a fading star, at least was reignited for a bit, and you know what you're going to get with him. And while Mission Impossible and even Top Gun was intellectual property, like people, it was a sequel, Top Gun, but it was so long after the first one. And Mission Impossible, I don't know if Mission Impossible ever really had the pull because it was Mission Impossible. I think it was because what the movies did. And I think
in 96 it might have had more of an association with the original series, but now it's just its own thing.
I thought it was a joke in 96. I said, what the fuck, a movie over that dumb TV show? Which,
No, the joke was Get Smart.
they did that movie too with, what's his
They
name?
did. Steve Carell and Big Eyes.
Well, that's a shame. They shouldn't have done that.
Oh, yeah.
That shouldn't have happened at all.
You know what else shouldn't have happened is Inspector Gadget.
I don't even, that happened?
Yes, with what's his name? With Ferris Bueller. What's that guy's name?
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. What's his name?
I can't remember. I'm not saying I can't remember.
I know, I don't either. Hold on. Why can't we remember his name? Oh, Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that thing where I say I don't remember a name.
I didn't think you were doing that thing.
Or get a name wrong on purpose just to prove something to somebody somewhere.
No, because
who
you
doesn't
would call
know.
him Math Pugh Broad Dick.
That's actually very good. You're right.
Thank you.
I probably would have come up with that
Yes.
if I thought about it. Not on the fly. I'm not good with wordplay on the fly.
Oh.
I have to sit there and think about it, and it's like constipation. It's like you really got to force it out.
Cameron Fry is played by Alan Cuck.
They do that mostly with sports, with the
I know.
teams, and then the players. And my friend Matt and I, during the NBA Finals several years ago, really the whole playoffs, we would just text each other variations of the players' names, and it was fun.
It sounds like a blast. I'm into it.
I enjoyed doing that. Just to wrap up the Tom Cruise thing, I think that he takes it very seriously. Sure, why is he pushing himself at this point? I still feel as though he's getting older. He's one of the last remaining stars. It's this weird concoction of things that comes together and driving whoever this man is. And if he didn't have that Scientology connection,
Right.
it'd be like, hey, he's pretty cool. Because now it's like, Tom Cruise. And the jumping on the couch, it's amazing how that fucking thing has stuck with him. I guess it was just so weird when he was dating Katie Holmes and he went on Oprah and jumped on the couch. We've all done dumb fucking things. But that is something that has not left people's brains.
Well, I think it's just it didn't sit right. You know, as humans, we are able to sort of suss out things that make sense and things that, especially things that don't make sense. And the way that he behaved, like if Charlie Sheen did it, or if Tommy Lee did it, then that would at least jive more with their personalities and who they were and like drugs and partying and stuff. But with him, we know he doesn't do any of that. And he was acting so manic. And part of you wants to believe that it's like, well, maybe they're actually just are really in love and maybe this is just him. But all of that sort of mental gymnastics to go around like, something ain't right.
It did feel forced. Like, look at me. I'm like a child, so in love. Like,
I don't think it didn't feel forced to me. It just seemed like this is not a normal reaction that people have. This is not normal behavior.
I read it. I mean, I guess I don't know if I've ever even seen the clip. I obviously have, but I don't know. I didn't see it in real time. Who knows where the fuck I saw it? In my mind, I guess I always thought of it as something that he just did, and maybe it was a choice he made before he went out. It wasn't spur of the moment. He's like, I'm going to jump on the couch and talk about how in love I am.
Oh, I think he was just so excited.
All right. Well, then yes, that's a strange reaction either way. So that's what he's going to be known for. Oh yeah, he did a lot of movies and all those stunts, and he worked to save the movie industry as it was shifting to superheroes and CGI. He was
those cartoons. It's so bad.
He was trying to protect something, and that's cool. But remember that time he jumped on the fucking couch?
Well, and remember all those times when he like had kids and then he shunned his kids because his wife didn't like every kid he has had to shun them because they don't want to be Scientologists anymore and shit.
Yeah, they had to like sneak out in the middle of the night. She had to run far away. Oh yeah, that guy.
Cool.
I remember
guy.
him. You mentioned Tommy.
Cool.
You mentioned Tommy Lee, and I was thinking of Tommy Lee Jones doing it because we were talking about movie people, and so I didn't know how Tommy Lee, the drummer, came into play, jumping up and down on a couch. Is that something he would do? That's a nerdy thing to do. That guy was cool.
Tommy Lee, no, but he was so manic and weird, you know, like and how like he is about, you know. Didn't you ever watch the porn tape that they did?
Nah, no.
Yeah, he's like a goofball.
I just saw
I could see him being like on some coke and doing that.
I just saw the clip where he honked the boat horn with his penis.
Yeah.
I saw that part, but I didn't care about the whole movie. It's goof. I don't know. Because it's more than just a sex tape, right? They were like documenting their lives. They didn't care.
Yeah.
I guess that was big news at the time. So, what else are you missing? Because you don't go to the movies. The Flash.
What's the Flash?
Keaton came back as Batman.
Oh, that's right. But doesn't he sound exactly like what's his name?
I
Bale?
believe in justice.
Yeah, Christian Bale.
I believe in justice.
No, he just sounded like Batman sounded when he was Batman. But that
Because every time I saw a clip, it was like,
I'm Batman.
I I don't think it was that harsh.
okay, good.
The movie itself, nobody gave a shit about. That thing flopped. I feel like
What is the Flash?
It was that's the comic book Fast Runner. He runs fast.
Oh, he's fast.
and he can travel through time. But Ezra Miller, they had all those.
Oh, right. And he was naughty. What did he do? He like kidnapped somebody and then they were in a cult or something.
Yeah, and he strangled someone on video and drove him to the ground.
Jesus.
There was weird behavior, and then they claimed that there were mental issues, and they were taking care of those. And if that's the truth, if that's really what's happening, maybe you shouldn't hold it against a person. Like, hey, look, I've been going through some shit, and I don't know what the fuck's going on or why I'm acting like this. But I think that movie in general, that contributed to it. People are tired of superhero films to an extent, and especially because this one played in the multiverse. And you know, Spider-Man did it a year and a half ago, where they brought back all the Spider-Men.
Yeah.
And then you've got the cartoon, which is really good in many ways. Talking about CGI and how we're all getting sick of it. The Flash's CGI was absolute trash. And there were scenes where he was watching all these different scenarios play out because he was traveling through time. And instead of like filming the characters and having these scenes, they looked like video game characters, but it felt like a choice. It didn't even feel like it was something. There was other bad CGI, but this felt like the director made the choice. Like, you know what?
Oh, like this is how he envisions
This is
what this traveling through time may look like.
Yeah, his dad was Burger from Sex and the City.
Oh no! Wait, does he play a bad guy?
No, he was just his dad.
Oh, okay.
But you see him different versions. So you got Grand Theft Auto version of Burger popping up, and then they bring back at the end all these different variations of Superman and Batman, and they show the Adam West Batman, and they show
Why?
Nick Cage.
Why are they doing that?
They showed Nick Cage because the multiverses were colliding on one another.
Oh, okay.
Look, I don't mind that. That was whatever. That was fine. It's fun to see.
So you saw The Flash?
Yeah, I go see almost everything because I have the Regal pass. So if you're paying $24 a month, may as well go see things.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was somewhat interested in it. I wasn't invested, and I think that's why I didn't care that much. Some people are really down on it, and I think it was fine. Whatever.
Like they're disappointed. Like they wanted it to be something else.
That, and I think some people never even gave it a chance. So yes, there were the people who wanted it to be something, I think, were disappointed, and other people had made up their minds just going into it. But a lot of it does play into superhero fatigue, and I think you're getting away from this movie. Actually had more emotional beats than a lot of the Marvel shit. Marvel's just become, this movie exists to set up the next movie. It's it. That's the only reason they're there. I'm going to see this thing so I can be sold the next movie. And they've gotten away from, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was really good because it stands alone. It didn't set shit up in any big way. Maybe there were some small threads, but I don't even think, because this movie existed just to wrap up Guardians of the Galaxy, and it was a very touching movie, and people are going to take to that. So really, it was just a nice story that happened to be a Marvel film, not a fucking Marvel film with shit CGI.
Yeah, I feel like that specifically with Guardians of the Galaxy, because it seems like every other movie has a real shift between the scenes where it's the actual actors and then the scenes when it's their CGI, like physics defying, flipping around cartoon, whatever. Like I heard that Wakanda, what's it called, that movie?
Black Panther, the second one?
Yeah,
talking about, or the first one?
I heard that the first one was really good.
Except
but
for
then
the
I
final
saw a clip.
except for the final battle.
Okay, well, I don't know, but what I saw a clip of was really disappointing. I think it was the first one. It might be the second one. He's like riding on a rhinoceros or something.
I don't. There's so many of these things I can't remember.
Well, either way, whether it was the first or the second one, it just looked so shitty. Um, I was like, oh, never mind, I'm out. I think it happened with that trailer for the Star Wars, um, like uh, Rise of the Jedi or whatever the fuck. And she's like waiting, and there's like a big fighter pilot person like coming at her, and then she does like she's running towards it, and then she does this weird flip that's upside down that doesn't make any sense.
Well, she used the
like,
Force. That was the Force.
I'm immediately out. I'm out.
Well, you buy into the Force, so you should have bought into that scene. I understand what you're saying. This was the real problem with the Snyder films. Is the physics were all off. The way people moved was strange. The way the cameras moved. This is what, and you see this in a lot of movies. But I want if you're going to defy physics or have weird and strange movements happening on screen, I want the camera to still act as though it is subject to the laws of physics. And Zack Snyder has these floating cameras that zoom in 3 miles in the blink of an eye. And I know that you're following the action, but I would prefer cuts. It's like, okay, we're far away now. We need to get close. Let's cut to close and then let that action happen in there. It becomes too fucking frantic. It was like the shaky cam that was really popular for a while in fight scenes.
Well, that was, what's his name that did Star Trek's, the new Star Trek?
Abrams? Yeah. JJ?
No, not JJ Abrams.
He did a Mission Impossible movie. There you go.
His name is
it was J.J. Abrams.
No.
Yes, with Chris Pine, J.J. Abrams.
Who's the one that who made the Transformers? Michael Bay. That's why I was so upset, because Michael Bay is schlock versus at least J.J. Abrams. Like, he didn't respect a lot of Star Trek stuff, but at least his movies were, they were really good. They were really well made.
Michael Bay.
Yeah, Michael Bay. I heard someone say that he was molested by an explosion, and that's why he has so many explosions in his movies. He has to like master explosions.
Did he do the latest Transformers? I don't even the one with the apes, the beasts.
Oh, Rise of the Beasts. Can you do a Transformer noise? It's really hard. Even if you try your best, it's real stupid. You should try. It goes like this, like. See?
Isn't it amazing? Do you even know what that guy looks like?
Michael Bay?
How many directors do you really know what they look like? Cameron, Spielberg.
Yep. I know what J.J. Abrams looks like. I know what Wes Anderson looks like.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
Yeah. He looks like a dandy fop.
I hear the new Wes Anderson film is okay, pretty good. People like the story. I think the biggest thing...
It's always pleasant, if anything. It's never a bad Wes Anderson movie.
I never leave them thinking, oh, wow, I'm feeling something. I'm thinking about something. Mostly it feels self-indulgent. I'm going to do my style. I'm going to make my aesthetic and shove it down your fucking throat.
Now, wait. I don't know. Because what about... I feel like the person that really has gone crazy with that is Tim Burton, because Tim Burton's style was awesome and interesting, and then it was just like nothing. It was style over substance eventually. I don't feel like Wes Anderson's done that, because I feel like his movies still have a lot of the same style, but a consistent amount of substance.
That's fair. I feel like Nightmare Before Christmas because he was working on something else.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what he was
He
on.
wasn't really involved in that one. It was just like
No, he
his
would just
aesthetic.
show up. He would just show up and say, no, no, fix it, change it. And then he'd leave and he'd go back to whatever he was doing. I don't know if it was Batman at the time.
It was 93.
But it's similar, those two, in terms of their aesthetics and style. And people are expecting this from me, and I'm buying into my own legend.
Well, yeah, when he did the Alice in Wonderlands, and those were just awful, just gross to look at. Maybe they were actually kind of decent. I can't tell because I could not stand to look at the screen. It's the same with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or Willy Wonka or whatever the fuck the new one, the Johnny Depp one's called.
The new one from 2000.
Whatever it is.
6, 4.
Yeah. Ugh, it's just so gross. Everything's so gross. His style, like Tim Burton's style used to just be like kind of dark edged, and little peeks into the smooth surface that we try and create as a society, but then the underneath, like Edward Scissorhands style, and then it just turned into I don't know what, just gross plastic blackness.
Speaking of Edward Scissorhands and Tom Cruise, he turned down that role because he asked how Edward would wipe his butt and go to the bathroom. And they couldn't answer it. So he said no thanks.
He was a created person. Maybe he didn't have bowels.
He did. He ate. There's scenes of him eating. I don't know.
Yeah, it's true.
I think that's fair. That's a fair question.
Sure.
To me, it's a better story because he turned it down because of that.
Yeah.
There's always the question, even with normal people, like when 24 was on TV. It's like, when does he go to the bathroom? How does he? 24 hours would take that long just to get through LA traffic. Ha 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 ha. Everyone had the same fucking observation, and then they spit it out as though it was something original. And if anything, the internet was around then, but I think of the internet now and how so many people think that they're absolutely the most interesting person in the world, so much so that they need to share everything about themselves with you. The internet should have shown that you're not, that there's certain buckets and all people fall into those buckets. Say there's 5 different buckets. And sure, there's variations once you're in that bucket, but it's like, oh, there's 5 basic types of people. And I haven't thought this theory out enough to name what those 5 different types are, but I could come up with it. Maybe I will sit down and figure that out. And then you should feel a bit of humility and say, you know what? I ain't that special. And I'm not going to go. Because the person who made the 24 joke, and that's why I said, the internet was around. But I don't feel as though it was as prominent. And you probably could go see people writing their blogs on MySpace about Jack Bauer needing to take a dump and when does he do it, and fine. But there was a bit more shelter at that point. So you weren't completely aware that you're not that original. You're not that funny. Yeah. Your thoughts and beliefs aren't that unique.
I think there was a TikTok that I saw where it was someone maybe doing something that they were thinking was kind of something they did as a kid or something like that. And then it cut to the person who posted it saying, oh, no, it's the person who like saw that and then are now reposting it and commenting on it. And they were like, they did the same thing. And they said, I realize I've never had an original experience in my entire life. Because
Exactly.
they thought they were like the only one who did that thing.
But still, they're grasping for it. They want it so bad. So by being the person to point this out and posting the video, They're hoping that they're the original one. I'm the first one though too.
I don't know. You put a lot of your, like we were talking about with your neuroses, you put the neuroses on those people when
You just
it
don't
could
do
just-
it. Don't do it.
no,
Don't
because
post
no, but
anything.
it could be like, isn't this wild? That because it was like, yeah, I realized that too. Because when I saw that video, it wasn't that I necessarily used to do that thing, but it was, yeah, I see stuff online all the time that I think, oh shit, I thought that was just my life. But
You
it's
take that
actually-
realization and you slink home. You don't make a fucking video and post it.
Well, there's no harm in posting it.
You're still
The person
doing
wasn't
the
looking
thing.
at the camera like, isn't this wild? Like for more of me reacting to things I thought were this,
You're
It's just
still
like,
you're
whoa.
still doing the thing. What's the motivation to post it at that point though?
Well, to say like, to express like, isn't this wild? I thought that I was alone in this thing and I'm not.
Write an essay.
Write an essay.
Yeah, do something a bit respectable. You
Why
want-
why is that more respectable than posting a video?
Because it takes
5-second
thought, it takes structure,
It doesn't
takes
maybe it
grasp
doesn't need
of
any more thought than
language,
that.
it takes grasp of grammar and sentence structure. It takes time.
But maybe this doesn't require all that. And
Takes
maybe that person
effort.
doesn't feel that deep about it.
The quick fix is what they want.
Well, that's what it's for. That's that's the medium. That's like saying like, I'm at the fair and I'm going to get cotton candy. Why don't you go to this place? It has so much more depth of flavor. And it's like, no, I just want some cotton candy.
We're at the point where something like Law and Order Criminal Intent is very structured and layered, and you really need to pay attention. I don't think anyone would have talked about Law and Order like that previously, but in today's world, I don't think that show flies because
because you can't be on your phone at the same time.
no, you have to be paying attention. Criminal Intent was the one with D'Onofrio, and
Okay.
it's a bit of a different structure, whereas SVU is a whodunit usually. You don't know
Okay.
who committed the crime. It's interesting to see the different ways they structure the shows. So you go in.
I've never seen it.
You go in. There's a crime committed, and then you're along for the ride with the detectives as they figure out that crime. With Criminal Intent, you know up front, they set it up. They set up, and this is the major case unit. So these have to be the worst of the worst crimes, or the best of the best. These people aren't just your everyday crooks. Like
Okay.
they've got these schemes that are complex and layered. So they set it up and you know who committed the crime. Then you're along for the ride with D'Onofrio. But you know something he doesn't know, and you have to watch him as he figures it out and marvel in how he figures it out.
So Columbo, kind of.
I've never watched Columbo, but sure.
Oh, that's exactly what Columbo is.
Sure. But a show like that is something that people couldn't watch these days. And I think when I say write an essay, it's like, hey, write something. It ain't going to show up in the New Yorker, but maybe you can get it published in your local Peoria opinion section.
Why are you putting the why is that necessarily what needs to happen in order for it to have merit?
Yeah, because I think that stuff's on the verge of extinction, and that's a shame.
I think that thing has its place, and that's
No, I
great.
don't think it has its place anymore because this has replaced it.
Nah, I think what I think is happening is that you and I are merging out of the demo, and the demo is the younger generation. That younger generation will one day move out of the demo just like we did, and they'll look at the previous generation and say, it's all going to shit. It's all being lost.
I think
And
about
those
that.
people and the people behind us are going to like merge into like reading more books or whatever you're talking. You know what I mean? Like having deeper thoughts about life
not
or
going to
whatever. And they're just
exist.
not doing that right now.
It's not going to be, the books won't exist.
Yeah, exactly. See, don't turn into that. Don't get older and fall into the same
It's not the
trap
same thing.
that
I know
every
what you're
yes,
saying.
it is.
No, it's
Every
not.
single
It's not.
dude
It's not.
has fallen into the same shit.
It's
the
not
same
the same
generation has
thing.
done the one before them. Every single
No,
one.
I don't grasp onto anything and say.
No, you don't. But you're going to judge the next generation of everything's. We're losing everything. You know, they don't know what they're doing.
You're putting this
you know-
on me. This isn't what I'm saying because when I talk about this, I still think of people our age. If anything, I give a pass to younger people because it is their world. I think of the pathetic people our age who are so desperate for some sort of relevance as they're aging, and it's slowly becoming a reality that they aren't as special as they thought they were, that they're just digging in even more so instead of saying, you know what? It's done. It's okay. It doesn't fucking matter in the end. I'm okay with it. I'm going to focus elsewhere now. And, well, what I was talking about in writing an essay, there is a fear that comes into that, into my brain. It plays into that where and plenty of people in the past got into writing because they wanted to fucking be famous. They wanted to be known. Sure. I'm not saying that it was this pure thing where only thinkers showed up and they put their thoughts on the page. Some of those people existed. Most of them weren't that. But I think there was at least a skill involved. And there's still a skill, I know, to make a good fucking TikTok video. Some people get creative with it and they get clever with it. And that's nice to see. But doing something like sitting down and writing took more effort. And I feel as though as everything in the world becomes more disposable, TikTok fits into that. It's just, what can I do to get my thought out in the easiest fucking way possible? Because that's what humans want to do ultimately. We got dishwashers, so you don't have to hand wash dishes. That's fine. I don't want to go back and hand wash dishes. I did that for years because I didn't have a dishwasher living in New York. I would use one dish because I didn't want them to pile up. So you'd use the same plate. It's amazing. Right. I had the shelf full of a whole set of dishes and bowls, and one got used. Sometimes I would feel bad for the bottom plate, and I'd say, okay, you know what? It's your turn. You're coming out.
You're up.
The other one would go.
That's nice of you.
Maybe the plate didn't want to be used. Maybe it enjoyed not being used. So while I understand what you're saying, and I think about this often, nobody likes to feel irrelevant in our culture. As you age, that's seemingly what happens because everything is geared towards younger people. And everything that comes out that's popular culture is, well, it's less so. It still happens quite a bit, but less so. You think about Harrison Ford still doing Indiana Jones at 80 years old. So you still got things for people our age, and I guess the idea is, and people older, but I guess the idea is they've probably showed their kids this too, people our age, and then their kids would be interested in it. But
I don't know.
He wasn't disposable. Women are still disposable in cinema. It's like, how many 80-year-old? They did do the weird Brady movie, so, and they did
wait, what Brady movie?
80 for Brady.
Oh,
so that's nice. I feel like women still are.
But wasn't that kind of about like, look at these old dusty old bones?
who want to
like
fuck
feeling
Tom
sexual
Brady?
Or whatever about a guy?
I didn't watch it. I would never watch it.
I didn't either.
Because it was tied to the Super Bowl that the Falcons blew. I shouldn't care.
Oh.
That's the jumping on the couch moment for the Atlanta Falcons. It's like 28-3. 28-3. Matt Ryan could have been a fucking hero. He could have walked around Atlanta and people would have kissed his gross Gretchen-filled toes for the rest of his life if he could have secured that Super Bowl. But now he's just the guy who blew it, even though it wasn't totally his fault. As the quarterback, you carry the team on your shoulders and like, yeah, okay. I would fuck me if I were Matt Ryan. That would just come back and haunt me at random times. Like, oh God.
Yeah, he's got to still feel like that, right? He's got to be like, he's got to still every once in a while be like, "Bleh."
I don't think he recovered from it. I thought he was a good quarterback, and a lot of people were down on him, but I was always riding high with Matt Ryan. But the team in general, I feel like after that, like the next seasons, he just never came back. The team never came back. I think it just crushed you because you're there. It's so hard to get there, and you're there, and you should win. Models project you in 98.9% of the time, and you fucking lose. just scald myself.
But that was really the only reason why you didn't see that movie?
I know I wouldn't have seen it if it had nothing. That just drove me further away. I wouldn't have
Right.
seen it. The ABBA movies, those feature older ladies.
Oh, yeah. Those were dumb, but they were cute and fun. I never need to see the first one again, or I have no need or want to see any subsequent ones, which I think was just the second one, right? There wasn't three.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But they had they were like fun and silly, and the saturation was blown out, so it's fun to look at.
Like the first Magic Mike, where the saturation is weird. That's the best way I can describe it. It's more than
it's not just oversaturated, right? It's like it's something people look too orange or something.
yeah. It's not just saturation. It's they shifted the color towards
Right.
orange. I don't know why. The exposure.
Right.
The exposure.
Something.
The exposure was fine, I guess.
But stuff like that makes things very pleasant.
Yeah, there's a lot of thought that goes into it.
Mm-hmm. I think the breakup was like that too, with Jennifer Aniston and tall guy.
Yeah, the Wedding Crasher.
Yeah. Yeah, real oversaturated, but really fun to watch.
That's the movie where Jennifer Aniston, like a set photo leaked where her boobs were out.
Oh yeah. Hey, Vincent D'Onofrio's in that movie. He plays the weirdest fucking brother. There's no reason why he needs to play that character so weird. But man, he is such a weird dude.
Vince
kinda love it.
Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn and Vincent D'Onofrio. Fucking just it's like when he played that cockroach guy from Men in Black, but fatter and not an alien. He acts so weird in that movie.
He bummed cigarettes off of me, D'Onofrio.
Cool.
We used to smoke cigarettes and talk, and we have the same mole on our forehead.
Really?
Yeah, right in the center. It's kind of colorless.
You guys talk about that?
No, but it's
We
bonding
have a lot in common.
in my mind. That's how I bonded with him: cigarettes and having the same mole. And I was doing video stuff, and he didn't say he would give me a job, but he's like, "Hey, talk to this person," because he had a production company. Maybe he still has the production company. And it was the same thing I did with Electric Lady Studios, which is the studio where Jimi Hendrix was building it, I think, when he died. And the guy running it was only a few years older than me. His name was Lee. And he said, "You want to hang out?" Someone's like, "Yeah, you would expect me. You'd expect me to want to hang out because you run Electric Lady." I'm not going to do it. "Oh, yeah, D'Onofrio. Sure. Yeah. That's why you think I'm smoking cigarettes with you? No. I'm hanging out because I just like hanging out and having a conversation, not because I want something from you. So I'll prove that."
You didn't want anything. He offered it.
Yeah, but following up on it shows exactly what he thought.
Neuroses.
I'm the one
not letting you live your life.
I'm the one who should be doing TikTok because I'm the unique one. How many other people turn Vincent D'Onofrio down? "Oh, yes, sir. Yes, Vincent. Yes, I'd love to work for your production company."
Somewhere in between. Like, "Oh my God, thank you, Vincent D'Onofrio. That's cool of you." Preach.
Cool.
Ridiculous. Isn't it weird how Vincent D'Onofrio can look absolutely pretty handsome, and then other times just look like a fat fucking weird piece of shit? Like,
That's
he's
nasty.
dying?
That's a nasty way to say it. You could have.
I'm just saying, he can look really good and look really bad, and I don't understand how it's the same person.
Could have phrased that a little more eloquently. But I know what you're talking about. Yes,
Thank
and I
you.
will agree.
I don't mean it like he does it on purpose.
So anyway,
You know,
we're getting close to the end, and you didn't even say the movies that you saw. We wasted this whole time. I want to go back to,
right.
but quickly, why was Jennifer Aniston nude anyway? If they weren't shooting her upper body naked for the movie, if it
They
wasn't on
were
screen,
her upper body. They weren't showing.
yeah, but the still like it wasn't seen on screen. She could
Right.
have covered up her nipples, but not that she needed to. But I feel as though it was a thing then. And yes, it shouldn't have been released, and it's on the person who fucking released it. She should be able to walk around topless if she wanted. But I feel as though if you were concerned, you would have put in the effort to not even give the pervert creep asshole the opportunity to release the picture. Anyway, so you saw 2 kids movies, and
Yep.
they were the same, right? They were both.
They were both about water. They both had a lot of water. One was Elemental, and then the other was Teenage Kraken.
Yeah, the Kraken's name.
Huh?
Ruby Gilman, Teenage Kraken.
Oh, right. Yeah. Ruby Gilman.
Which one did you prefer out of those 2?
The Kraken one. The other one, Elemental, was kind of interesting, but and it was cool. Like, it was done really well. The animation was really neat, because somebody is a fire, and then she and a water person fall in love, and they don't know how it's like water is the enemy of fire. So there's a lot of, and fire is the enemy of like water, and then all of the other elements that live with water, like tree, like wood or whatever, they're upset. Like, they don't want to be around the fire element. So anyway, yeah, it looks really cool. The fire animation looks really cool, and her abilities and stuff are neat. But I was real annoyed by the dude character that was like the love interest. He was just like, he was just so lame.
It was the water dude, right? The goofy water.
Yeah, his name
bumbling.
is Wade, because you wade in the water.
Pixar has really fucking lost it.
Well, this is the first Pixar movie where like there were parents. Like, every Disney movie, the parents are dead, or you watch them die in the very beginning. Parents were there, babe. They were there the whole time. They were part of the story. But yeah, the Teenage Kraken was weird looking, kind of. I don't know. It was all dumb. I was like, God damn it, these kids' movies.
But you thought the story was better. Did the kids enjoy it? Elemental, I hear, is just the problem with it. It's just they cram so much shit into it, meaning it's like an interracial relationship. So there's culture clashing, and then there's like the differences in class in inner cities, and then there's the expectations that parents put on kids. Like, what the fuck? Pick one of these fucking things.
It was really, the biggest thing was just how are these two people going to manage touching each other and wanting to be close to each other without harming each other. And then
also had that problem. Rogue of the X-Men. We've explored it before.
Who's Rogue?
Rogue can't touch her. Mutant power is she absorbs the other. If it's another mutant, she absorbs their power. If it's just a person, even if it is a mutant, she also absorbs their life. She sucks it right out of them, so she has to wear gloves and can't make skin-to-skin contact. So,
well, there you go.
So nice try.
Well, these kids don't know that story, so it was new for them. But yeah, so it was really that. And then the upper class family, that was the water family, they were rich, but they were really nice and really sweet, and like they weren't like villainized or vilified, or they didn't make them shitty people just because they were rich or anything. So there wasn't anything like that. And then yeah, it was more like her family, the Fire family, were immigrants, and so they were real distrustful of outside of their like race or whatever, their fire thing.
But by the end, they'd come around, right?
Oh yeah, it all worked out in the end. But no, there wasn't. I know what you're saying. Like, those things, those elements were in there, but it wasn't it wasn't put in there, and it wasn't confusing because it wasn't all smushed in and like they weren't all having the same equal importance.
Which one did the kids like better?
The Kraken one.
There you go. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Didn't have them turning backwards in their chair and
No, Pete kind of got bored with Elemental.
it's sliding out of the chair.
Yeah. He got down on the floor and was like chilling down there for a while. You know, he was moving around.
Pixar lost the magic touch.
Because it wasn't devastating in the very beginning, like Up.
It doesn't need to be devastating, but they were able to do decent films and Disney in general.
What's all right? It has to have its, its heyday, and they had the Disney Renaissance with Little Mermaid and Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast and all of those, and then it kind of faded away. Now it's doing something with Pixar, and now Pixar's it's like fading. All right, so now we're waiting for the next thing.
Well, because Disney owns everything.
Oh my God, get out of here! You're right. Fuck.
That when they start losing money from Pixar and Marvel and Star Wars,
yeah,
the budgets aren't going to be slashed there. Some, but they're still going to focus on those. That's their moneymakers. It's when they bought 20th Century Fox and all the other subsidiaries that they own, that's where it's going to be slashed. It's like, fuck it, we're not making as much money. So bye other stuff.
Like TCM, like HBO buying TCM and then slashing their shit to hell.
Yeah, because they get themselves in this debt.
Yeah.
We just bought up a bunch of shit because...
Oh my God, speaking of debt, I watched the Madoff documentary and it was incredible.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was really well made. And then also, I was already, I think I've talked on this show about, I should take my money out of 401k and bury it in the yard instead of treasure map for my kids' future. But it made it even more fuck them so hard. Fuck the fucking government. Fuck big banks. Fuck Wall Street. Eat the rich.
They're all in on it together.
Oh my God. And the fact that these bajillionaires, whatever, these rich and powerful people get away with anything that they need to. And then the people on the other end can't get away with shit. You fuck up on your taxes, well, fuck you, interest, and pay it off, or you'll go to jail. I don't know.
Yeah, the Jersey Shore guy.
Yes, poor.
I mean, he lied. He
did, but he was also on drugs at the time, and then he got really clean, and he really turned his life around, and he still had to pay the piper as far as he had to go to jail.
I know,
and also pay back,
but you're right.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, your student loan. Oh, you signed a contract at 18 for, $16,000. And we're going to hold you to that.
Yeah, and
meanwhile,
the one thing that bankruptcy won't erase. Right.
And then meanwhile, these people can just get away with so much bullshit. These banks. I also watched the GameStop documentary.
How was that one?
It was really good too. It was fuck this shit, dude. All these people get bailed out.
That was the whole play with GameStop, and then
they stopped bidding.
Then AMC after that,
right?
Which is why I didn't take my $22,000 of profit, because I like the idea of sticking it to the hedge funds and what the fuck. There's no way they're ever going to lose, and I knew that somewhere, but. That mattered more. It's well, even if there's just a small chance that this somehow hurts them, because they ain't coming from the government. The SEC is a fucking joke, because people, when they're done with the SEC, they get jobs with the big investment firms. So they can't fuck them over, else they have no future for themselves. And
upsetting.
Sometimes they fine them a little slap on the wrist.
Right.
Oh, you fucked people over and made $33 billion. Well, we're going to fine you $1 million.
Absolutely. The people, the gigantic, I forget what they're called, that the houses that would involve their people into Bernie Madoff stuff, they all got bailed out and they were all fine. And then it was the people that were the individuals that invested that got fucked. like lost millions of dollars that their family, left to them, like sold a business and left to them
Because
to live.
these things carry the economy, the banks, or
Right.
if you cause the public to lose trust, same thing with the stock market, then it falls apart. So it's like, oh, we gotta keep that trust intact. When the whole housing market 2008 recession happened, if you're going to do handouts because they bailed out the fucking banks after they gave out all those awful mortgages, what you should have done is given the money to the people who took out the mortgages with the stipulation that the money had to be used to pay off your mortgage. Then the banks get their fucking money and the people get their house paid for. Then you're bailing everyone out. But instead, it's like, oh, we'll give the money to the banks that created this problem in the first place. Plus, you still own you owe the money for your shitty mortgage. Continue to pay that so they can make that money back too. Fuck you. Fuck it all.
Fuck you.
But that goes back to that episode a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Pissed me off. Made me really mad.
Yeah, it should. Then they're doing a fiction. Well, it's not fiction because it's based on the GameStop thing, but there's a scripted movie coming out, not the documentary. It looks pretty good.
Really? It seems like it's going to be...
No, it looks fun.
I haven't seen anything about it. It just sounds cheesy or something.
It looks
like
fun.
after school specially.
No, it's
Okay.
It's properly done.
All right. I'll watch it. All right. Thank you, everybody. Like and subscribe, rate and review. Hang out. Watch us. Nope. Don't watch us. Listen to us. Send us to your friends. Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Shit.